The first question is, in the context of the above, which one is the closest one? Yes, there can be no use to poetry. Poetry can have no true subject. Man may be the true subject of poetry, or the poet himself may be the subject of poetry. What can be the option? Here, the given option, whosoever is selected here, has selected the option C. There can be no use of poetry. But now you have to tell me that according to the passage, what is the first line is being given here and what they want to ask. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, tell me what they exactly want to ask. The what is the answer? Tell me fast. ऐसे नहीं paper solve कर पाएंगे ना? What is the first line is saying that what can be the use of a poetry that has no true subject. So according to them, what is the true? There can be no use of poetry. Like there will be no poetry can have no true subject, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So now next question. What is the next question here? What is meant by traditional use of poetry? What is the meaning of traditional use of poetry?
Promoting serious ideas.
Yes, promoting serious ideas or the what is the traditional use of poetry here is being given. See, the traditional use of poetry in the Western world has been instruction through delight, where teaching has meant the common truths or common deception of societal tradition, where aesthetic pleasure has meant a fulfillment of expectation founded upon past joys of the same design. This is being said. So, in this, there are answers, the options are truth of self recognition, some truth of untruth, creating ideal pleasure, reliving the past joys. What can be the answer? Some truths of untruths, right? A will be the answer. Some truths of untruths are the traditional क्या कहते हैं use of poetry, that is the sorry, ये तो थर्ड का आंसर है, ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 पे आ गया हम लोग. Traditional use of is promoting serious ideas, promoting doubtful, promoting joyous expectation, and promoting social honesty of life. Yes, serious ideas, right?
Yes, ma'am.
और the third one, joyous expectation. प्लेजर को इसने इम्पोर्टेंस दी है या किसको दी है?
मैम जॉयस एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं होगा इसका आंसर?
Yes, joyous expectation, because from the first line in the Western world has been instructed through delight. See, from the very second line, it is saying the same thing, that from delight, where the teaching has meant that the common truths or common deceptions of societal tradition, where aesthetic pleasure has mean the fulfillment of expectation. So the answer according to the paragraph is the third one. Sorry, the second one. That is joyous expectation. Third one. Okay. But an individual psyche has its own accident which it needs to call truth, and its own necessity for self recognition, which require the pleasure of originality. even in those pleasure depend upon the kind of lying against the time and against achievement of the past. The use of such poetry demand to be seen in a uh, de-idealized way if it is be seen more truly, if it is being seen more truly. This is the third question. The third question, तीन ही question है इसमें. Third question क्या है? If selfhood, if selfhood of a poet is a subject of poetry, then originality shall spring from. If selfhood is the subject of poetry, then originality. But an individual psyche has an accident which needs to call truth and the necessity of self-recognition, which require pleasure of originality. So what will be here? Creating ideal pleasure, reliving the past joys, truth of self-recognition, or some truths of untruth. What will be the real answer?
First one, some truths
Some
are
truths of
no,
untruths, ma'am.
Yes, some truths of untruth is the answer. Okay. Some truths of untruth will be the answer. Now, this is a poetry being given here, and the question is, the first question, it is not, sorry, which of the following best describe the meaning of the title? No worse, there is none. This is not worse because there is nothing. Nothing can be so much bad as this. No, it is not worse as nothing is there. And next option is, it is very bad as no one is there. So we have to read down no, worse, there is none, no worse, there is none, pissed past patch of grief. More pangs where is food for, four fangs wilder wings. So this is about something, we are talking about the past patches of something, and here is no worse, there is no one, because it must be a poetry of most probably post World War. So this kind of poem is being written here. So here the question is, which of the following is best described? Describes the meaning of the title of the poem. No worse, there is nothing. It is not worse because there is nothing. Nothing can be so much bad as this. बताओ क्या मीनिंग होगा, क्या डिस्क्राइब कर रहा है पोएम का टाइटल?
It is not worst because there is nothing.
It is not worse because there is nothing.
Yes.
How? How?
ma'am, no words there is none means it doesn't matter if there is nobody beside you.
Okay. I think he is just grieving on the things. It is not worse because there is nothing. It's like it is very bad that there is no one. That the place he is roaming and there is no one. That is a bad thing. Right? It's not as simple
Yes,
as
ma'am,
that.
because after the World War, every
Yes.
poetry says the
There
lamenting
was,
things.
yes. So
Yeah.
this is the time he is talking about, and he is saying that all are leaving off the places, and there is no one here. Okay. Second question is, beyond the intensity of known grief, there can be, beyond the intensity of the known grief, there can be, what kind of thing can there be? Only two questions are here. We are there. Beyond the intensity of known grief, there can be no grief than being experienced only a few new pain is more painful. Only the twisted known pains, the griefs beyond the limit of pain. So there are the griefs beyond the limit of pains. 4 is the answer. Okay, because the people who are lost and the families are feeling the griefs beyond the limit of pains for them. Okay, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now choose the correct answer from the option. What he is asking here, going to ask which two of the following are true. Not all the intensity, not all known the intensity or depth of suffering. That does not put an end to our suffering. Suffering is seen as wind and hinder comfort. Um, Suffering's intensity or depth is in the mind. बताओ कौन से ऑप्शंस ठीक होने चाहिए. You can read the poem as well. You can see the poem. There it's being saying that Mary, mother of us, where is your relief? My cries are here long. Heard long, huddle in a main, a chef, woo, world sorrow, an old man, wild winds and sing, then lull, then leave off. Fury has strict, no lingering, let me be fell. Force I must be brief. Oh, the mind has mountain cliffs of fall, frightful sheer, no man fathomed, cold and cheap man who never hang there, nor does long or small Junan's deal that is T for B and D. Yes, here three branch under the comforts of a whirlwind. All the that does and each day dies with sleep. So obviously the pain is very much. Obviously, the person whosoever is here is talking about that death does not give pain to end to all the suffering, and that next is suffering's intensity or depth is in the mind. That is always in the mind. Okay.
A and B answer.
Yes. A and B.
Yes.
No, ma'am, B and D is the answer.
Not all known the intensity and depth of suffering. B and D, I think. If the answer is 4, B and D.
A and B.
Are you sure? Have you checked it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Intensity, maybe not all line होगी यहाँ पे कोई ना कोई ऐसी. If he has checked or something, then more comfort when the comforted and let me be fall, let force, I must be brief, oh my mind has a mountain. Okay, maybe
Yes,
because
yes,
all cannot
yes, ma'am. Yes,
understand.
ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
all
A
cannot
and D.
understand.
Ma'am, A and D. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, yes, A and B is the answer. Right. देखो नीचे जो आंसर दे रखे हैं उनको मत करना, ये किसी की शीट है क्योंकि जो उसने आंसर फिल करे यहाँ पे वो दे रखे, करेक्ट आंसर नहीं दे रखे हैं, ये ध्यान रखना. ठीक है. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज थॉमस हार्डी टेस्ट ऑफ डर्बरविलीज में से यहाँ पे दिया गया है क्वेश्चन. सो नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज हाउ डिड द sport with test end? How did the sport with test end?
She was hanged.
She was hanged.
Ma'am, Tess of D'Urberville में वो hang होती है मैम.
Hang कर देते हैं उसको. For what?
For the death, she murdered killed the Claire.
Angel.
No, ma'am.
नहीं.
Adele. Yes, ma'am.
Angel Claire.
Angel Claire को नहीं
Adele,
मारती है.
Adele.
Adele को. हाँ. है ना, वो उसको मार देती है लास्ट.
Adele को मैम Adele को मारती है.
हाँ, Adele ऑफ डर्बरविलीज को मार देती है वो. Alec, not Adele. Alec को. Its
Alec.
name is Alec.
Right.
Alec
Yes,
of
ma'am.
डर्बरविलीज. Yes, Alec डर्बरविलीज को मार देती है वो. एंजल क्लेयर तो उसकी सिस्टर के साथ देखने जाता है. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वही है. Who are the two speechless gazers? कौन उसकी हैंगिंग को देखने जाता है वहां पे? बताओ.
Lisa Lou and Angel Clare.
Yes, Lisa Lou and Angel Clare. The B is the answer. Lisa Lou and Angel Clare
Sister.
because
Lisa Lou, yes, ma'am. Lisa Lou is sister, and Angel Clare is the
हाँ
her lover actually.
हाँ एंड शी दे देखो अभी यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन में एक ट्विस्ट है, ध्यान से देखो. यहाँ पे ये पूछा गया है कि हु आर द gazer, who are the speechless gazers, but they are क्या कहते हैं, Lisa Lou and Angel Clare are not gazers. They went on another cliff to witness. They were the witnesses and who were in the grief. But who are the gazers who was just watching that without any emotion? And that was Reverend James and Mrs. Brooke, the mother of Alec and the one who has given the punishment. This is the right answer. Reverend James Clare and Mrs. Brooke. Someone has asked me this question and they said, ma'am, Lisa Lou and Angel Clare was there, but why the answer James, Reverend Clare and Mrs. Brooke is given? Because Mrs. Brooke was there where the punishment is being given, जहाँ पे उसको hang किया जा रहा था. She was standing there. Mrs. Brooke and Reverend James Clare, because Reverend James Clare has given her the punishment of hanging, and Mrs. Brooke was the one who wanted to see it because she has killed her son Alec. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ. And Angel Clare and Lisa Lou was the one who were watching it from the another cliff because they were not allowed to enter. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So mark it. What is the question? Who are the speechless gazers? Speechless gazers इसलिए थे because they know it is a wrong decision, because she has murdered, but she has murdered to get the justification or to get the justice for herself. And it is impossible to get the justice from us because we all are biased, right? So that is why she has done it. But because she was a mother, she did it. Now, next is another poem. Shakespeare, The Tempest. वहां से ये poem ली गई है. Now the question is the insubstantial peasant refer to. Who is the insubstantial peasant in that? The Solomon temples, the great globe itself, yeah, all which it inherits shall dissolve, and like the insubstantial peasant faded, leave not a wreck behind. We are such a stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. So now, what is the insubstantial pageant? A non-real performance, the shutdown of the Globe Theatre, the destroyed Mother Earth, the enactment with support structure.
The shutdown of Globe Theatre,
Yes,
शेक्सपियर.
yes. किसने करवाया था और क्यों करवाया था?
वो बंद हो गए थे ने, इसमें जल गया था थिएटर.
वो तो बाद में गया था, तो शेक्सपियर ने टेम्पेस्ट में कैसे लिख दिया? उसको जलाया गया था, वो तो 1642 में उसको ताला लगा दिया गया था. But during the performance, it was burnt and was shut down in 1602 also. ठीक है? During the performance of a drama, it got burned and was shut down. That is why he referred it as an insubstantial pageant. Got it? It was reopened during his time. Then he performed other plays here. And in 1642, it was burned by the Puritans again. When the burning of theatre was there, they didn't burn Globe Theatre, but they locked it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, next is, your next question is, we are such a stuff as dreamers are made on. Means human life is full of imaginary colors. Our life is a text of what happened. We are a bundle of past reality, and there is no substance of human life. What is the meaning of we are such a stuff as dreamers are made on? We are such a stuffs as dreamers are made on means The human life is full of imaginary colors. Got it? Dreams are not dreamers, but
Yes,
dreams
ma'am.
are made of. Dreams matlab imaginary colors. All the things are imaginary here. Okay. Now, next question. An apology for poetry. Sydney discussed the didactic function of poetry by comparing it to philosophy. And किससे compare करा है उसने? Philosophy and religion, aesthetics, history or ethics.
मैम रिलीजियन.
पोएट्री को रिलीजन से कंपेयर करा है.
मैम हिस्ट्री.
एस्थेटिक्स.
मैम एस्थेटिक्स.
यहाँ पे रिलीजन दिया हुआ है हालांकि. डायडैक्टिक फंक्शन. ओके. सिडनी डिस्कसेस द डायडैक्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ पोएट्री. तो डायडैक्टिक फंक्शन किस में आएगा? डायडैक्टिक का मतलब क्या होता है? लेक्चर देना, किसी भी चीज के बारे में लेक्चर देना और एथिक्स की बातें करना. ये किस में होगा? या तो फिलॉसफी के अंदर होगा या रिलीजन के अंदर होगा. इसमें एस्थेटिसिज्म नहीं हो सकता. You have to read the even I have made the mistake, so I was also taking it as aestheticism, but you have to read the question very carefully. Now pay attention to what the next question very carefully we have to read it. Okay. Now next is according to Longinus, which two of the following qualities apply to great poetry? It must be a work of genius, an inspired person. It must cause a feeling of melancholy in the reader. It must employ device of rhetorics. It must please selectively and on special occasion. Yes. बताओ फटाफट.
A and C, ma'am.
मैम A and B.
A and B. It must be the work of genius and inspired person. वो तो हमें पता ही है.
Yes.
Because
melancholy.
Longinus has talked about the work of genius. In the first quality, he has said that a person should be a man of genius, right? उसने ये चीज बोली है.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Second, he has talked about that it must cause a feeling of melancholy in the reader. It should employ the feeling of the same. That is called sublimity.
मैम मेलनकली यानी इसमें जो दुखी आदमी रहता है, दुखी मैन रहता है, वो
सबलिमिटी का मतलब ही यही था कि इमर्जिंग द सेम इमोशंस इन रीडर्स. व्हाटएवर इज द मेलैंकोली, मतलब पोएट को पहले मेलैंकोलिक मैन ही बोलते थे, क्योंकि whosoever is writing a poetry must be a hurt one. वो देखिए मूवी आप लोगों ने, कौन सी थी, रॉकस्टार, कि एक गाना लिखने के अंदर बहुत बड़ा दुख होना बहुत जरूरी, अदरवाइज वो पैशन नहीं निकलता. राइट. तो यहाँ पे भी उसने सब्लिमिटी क्या बोला कि आप जितने बड़े ग्रीफ में होंगे उतना बड़ा ग्रीफ लिखोगे, आपको इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगी और वही इमोशंस आप सामने वाले में जनरेट कर पाओगे. तो यहाँ पे क्या आ जाता है? ए. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द मैन मस्ट बी अ वर्क ऑफ जीनियस. ही शुड हैव अ कमांड ओवर द लैंग्वेज एंड द इनबॉर्न क्वालिटी शुड बी देयर. द इंस्पायर्ड इमोशन शुड बी देयर. एंड थर्ड क्वालिटी इज the feeling of melancholy in the reader. He should have a capability to inspire to create the same kind of feeling in readers. So A and B is the answer. Okay. Now next question. Who among the following compared the mind in creation to a fading coal? Wordsworth, Coleridge, Shelley or Keats? A mind in creation to a fading coal. And in which work? I want detail.
मैडम वर्ड्सवर्थ 1798 से रोमांटिक
वो तो ठीक है. Just tell me the name of the work. If you know the quotation, then you must know the work in which he has said it. Yes.
Ma'am, in Defense of Poetry,
Defense of
what's the
Poetry is by Shelley.
Ma'am, answer is
Actually, the answer is Shelley, ma'am.
Shelley. Yes, ma'am, answer is Shelley and in Defense of Poetry.
Answer is Shelley. According to you? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the work is Defense of Poetry.
Yes, ma'am, in 1821.
The answer is Defense of Poetry. Okay, let me just also check. I will also give you the answer sheet I have prepared for this. I will give it to you. Let me also do that. Yes, it is. First answer is the answer for first is C. Okay, it's religion. It's fine. Answer second Longinus. वो हमने कर लिया है. Third is function of criticism. एक सेकंड हमने कोई क्वेश्चन छोड़ दिया है क्या ऊपर? हाँ, हमने क्वेश्चन छोड़ दिया है ना. The function of criticism T.S. Eliot attacked J. Middleton Murray and similar critique for being devotee of what he called
romantic
the
impulse.
romantic impulse is the answer.
So
In the Middleton Murray, no, the answer is the inner voice. Middleton Murray and other critics of that same genre, whom he had characterized as devotee of what he called the inner voice. इन सबको इसने क्या कहा है function of criticism में? The inner voice. A is the answer. Okay, and now I'm coming to the next question of yours. That who among the following? The answer is C. Shelley. The answer is C. Shelley. Defense of Poetry. And the complete explanation is the mind in creation is a fading coal, which some visible influence, like the constant wind, awakens to transitory brightness. This power arises from within. These are the quotes from Shelley, Defense of Poetry. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now the next answer is who among the following considered as hearsay?
Clement Brooks.
It's Clement Brooks, right? And what is the name of the work? The hearsay. कौन सी book में है ये?
The Heresy of
Yeah, a
Paraphrase.
hearsay of paraphrase is the name of a chapter in which book? बताओ. The Golden Bowl.
Well-wrought
Sorry,
urn.
हाँ, right. The well-wrought urn. Golden Bowl तो उसका है, Fraser का है. The well-wrought urn. Okay, next. Empiricist linguistics is concerned with concerned with investigation of human mind, directly observable sense data, reason as a determinant of inquiry, innate language knowledge. Past. I'm talking about empiricism. Yes.
Using the senses, ma'am.
Which one?
Maybe the fourth one, innate language knowledge.
Empiricism is about practicality, direct observation of sense data. direct observable sense data. That is, you have,
It's about
yes, you
senses,
have to
ma'am. Yeah,
use
yeah.
your senses to identify whether the data is right or wrong. Okay. Next is, in Noam Chomsky definition of grammar, which two features are drawn from mathematics? Complexity, abstraction.
मैम A and B complexity and abstraction.
मेरे को पूरा, आपके पास क्वेश्चन पेपर है?
नहीं मैम, यहाँ मैम ये पता है complexity and
Abstraction,
abstraction.
transformation, generation. Yes, what is the answer? A and B, A and C, B and D, C and D. इन डेफिनेशन, दोबारा देख लो क्वेश्चन, कहीं जल्दबाजी में करो फिर बोलोगे। मैंने पढ़ाया है ये तुम्हें। इन नॉम चॉम्स्की डेफिनेशन ऑफ ग्रामर, which two feature are drawn from mathematics? Transformational and generation. मैंने आपको बताया था जनरेटिव ग्रामर एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल ग्रामर, दैट इज C and D is the answer. Okay.
मैम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल जेनेरिक
जनरेटिव
ग्रामर
एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल ग्रामर मैंने पढ़ाया था आप लोगों को।
yes
Now
ma'am.
next, potato is a 16th century borrowed word from which language?
मैम इसका मुझे फ्रेंच लगा था क्योंकि फ्रेंच फ्राइज वहीं से
O
आते हैं।
are the, whenever there is a verb ended with O, they are from South European area. ये चीज पहले ध्यान रख लो, जो भी चीज साउथ यूरोप से होगी उसका लास्ट में ओ होगा। तो इट इज फ्रेंच तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, ये तो कट गया। जर्मन पॉसिबल नहीं है, कट गया। नॉर्वेन, नॉर्वे कहाँ है? ऊपर है, कट गया। क्या बचा है? स्पेनिश। If there is Italian, if there is Spanish, then the words will end with O. If it is Greek, the word will end with Y most probably. Okay, or A. The word will end with A or Y. ये ध्यान रखो, छोटी छोटी सी चीजें हैं। जर्मन और फ्रेंच के अंदर कुछ भी हो सकता है, like English, they don't have any such kind of specification. Now, next question is, who among the following present the global spread of English diagrammatically as 3 concentric circles? Who among Cecil, Jenny Cheshire, Brett Kachru, or Salico Mufevi? Who among the following present the global spread of English diagrammatically as 3 concentric circles? Brett Kachru, right?
Brajan Karchu.
Yeah. Brett Kachru is the answer.
Yeah,
and what are the 3 concentric circles? Circles के नाम तो बताओ.
Inner,
inner, outer, and expanding.
Outer and extended.
Expanded.
Expanding.
Inner,
Yeah.
outer,
circle.
and expanding. Expanding or expanded, ऐसा ही है कुछ. ठीक है, ये इसका क्वेश्चन है. अभी आई एम डूइंग लास्ट क्वेश्चन because my class there of college has already started. So 20 questions we have done today, and tomorrow's class will start by I think 7 p.m. I will start tomorrow. Okay. Now, next question is, who among the following is the founder of the Survey of English Usage? Is the founder of Survey of English Usage? Randolph Quirk, Henry Watson Fuller, Michael Swan, and Brian Greiner.
Randolph Quirk.
How? It was also a question from English, English in India. It is classification करना है, तो मैं पहले ही बता दूं ये वहां से है. ठीक है, SEU उसी में ही आता है. And then the answer is Randolph Quirk because in 1959 in Durham University of England, in 1959 he made such kind of plan with many of the scholars to make a survey of English usage or usage of English language all over the world, because he is the first one who wanted it to be a global language. Got it? ये चीज ध्यान रख लेना. वैसे आप लोगों को रिकॉर्डिंग मिलेंगी तो you will be able to note it down. Now it's a time to say a goodbye to all of you and